All right. Shalom Akim. Start off this lesson. I do want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Shai, Hashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of great Milton that taught us his truth and that rule well. Peace and blessing to the sincere Akim that's pushing his truth in all truth and sincerity around the four corners of the earth to the Jalil to us Shalom. Okay, this is the brother Ariyah from the Great Milton Miami camp. I come back to the spirit part of Yahweh Shai to make another lesson. Okay, this lesson I'll be going into the kingdom. Like I'll be going into the kingdom. All right, what is promised to us, or is promised to those that do not take the sea hip, and what is promised to Lord's men. All right, not taking that. Okay, not taking that sea hip, man, and those that forsook their lives in America. All right, to receive eternal life in the kingdom. Okay, and this is a topic that you can go on for hours and hours. Okay, because there's so much to talk about. All right, when you go into the topic of the kingdom. Okay, you can go into how laws gonna be in our inward parts. We never gonna sin again. All right, how we gonna repopulate the earth? Okay, how it's gonna be peace on earth? How we gonna have Yahweh Shai ruling? Okay, through Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, it's a lot of things that you can see on the kingdom, but I'm gonna keep it short and simple and straight to the point because we have to understand that in this truth. Yes, we're gonna talk about the destruction and talk about the judgment of America, and as well too, we got to talk about the kingdom, right? Because it's a balance. All right, it's a balance. Speaking about those two, all right, because all right, you understand how the scriptures speak about okay, the bitter, okay, and the sweet. All right, that bitter going into understanding the trials and the tribulations that come in this truth. Okay, the sweetness going into the promises, the kingdom. All right, and the kingdom is going to be amazing, man. The kingdom is going to be beautiful. All right, you're going to be at peace and not be worried about going to work, paying bills. Okay, your women being argumentative. Okay, your women being loyal to you. Right? All these things are attributes of the kingdom. Having real peace on the earth. Okay, people actually rejoicing because right now, the people are mourning. Right? Guess why? Because of the rulership. Okay, because of Esau, Edom's rulership. Okay, that's why that's why the earth, okay, is in a state of mourning, man. Because Esau, Edom is in rulership. Esau is ruling. So-called white man is ruling. Okay, the earth, and people are not happy with that, man. Okay, nobody's happy with the, no, nobody's happy with the state of how the world is right now. Okay, and and you can see it, man. People are constantly complaining about the cost of living going up. All right, everything is expensive. Inflation, how the food is defiled, or these things are making people complain, man. They mourn. Okay, with the wickedness that is going on, on the face of the earth. Right, all these things, all right, are not really life. Okay, the brother Osh said recently that we haven't really truly experienced living. Okay, we haven't truly experienced actually eating real food, actually getting the nutrients, the whole nutrients from certain foods. We have yet to experience that, man. Okay, we have yet to experience multiple wives, children, being with Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Okay, our forefathers. Okay, living forever. That's another thing that we have yet to, we speak about living forever, but that's something that you can't fathom, man, because in this place, it's death all around. All right, so somebody dies every day. Okay, and we understand that because judgment takes place on earth. All right, so in the kingdom, okay, the men of the Lord, the elect, okay, and the nation of Israel, okay, we're gonna live forever. Right, and on top of that, Esau is going to be building up our kingdom. Okay, he's gonna be building up our kingdom, and then After 1,000 years, he's going to be eradicated. He's going to be destroyed. So that cancer of the earth is going to be eliminated, and we have to understand that, man. All right, we have to understand that first, this devil has to be taken out of power for righteousness to be established on the face of the earth. Man. Okay, but I had a couple of precepts lined up, low and less edifying. All right, but this is Isaiah 65, verse 17. It says, "For behold, I will create a new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind." That's right, man. The Lord is going to create a new heavens and a new earth. The former things, the former, the past way of living. Okay, it's not going to be remembered. This way of living is not going to be remembered. Okay, it's not going to come into our mind. The way that we used to live in America. Okay, yes, we may glance at it, but or we may replay in our minds just just to show. Okay, but we're not gonna be like, damn man, I wish I would. No, man, that that thought of regret is not gonna come in the kingdom, man. Okay, we are gonna be able to live forever. Okay, be with the Lord, please the Lord. That's what we ought to want to do, is please the Lord. Because when we don't please the Lord, what's at the doorstep? Okay, sin. Right? Guess why? Because guess why? It's a constant battle between the flesh and the spirit. All right, we don't want to be in that state of mindset where we have to constantly battle between those two things. Okay, we want to be peace to be living, understanding that everything we do is pleasing the Lord. That's going to be true life. That's going to be true living. And we're only going to get that in the kingdom. All right, and understand that the destruction of America and destruction of this place has to happen first before the kingdom comes. Okay, because the kingdom of Lord is going to be on earth. All right, Scripture says that the earth abideth forever, but just now, all right, there's going to be a cleansing. There has to be a cleansing first before the kingdom happens. Okay, this place has to be cleansed, and by what? By that fire. Okay, Esau has to pay for the injustice that he did to the nation of Israel and to the earth. All right, it says, "But ye be glad and rejoice forever in that in which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem, rejoicing, and her people are joy." And that's right, man. We are going to be, rejoicing in the kingdom, really rejoicing. You see now, we may rejoice, on our type of level, but we are going to truly rejoice in the kingdom, truly be glad, truly be happy in the kingdom. All right, this is Isaiah 65, verse 20, and it says, "There shall no It's like there shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that has not fulfilled his days. Not fulfilled his days, for the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed." And that's right, man. Okay, there's not gonna be no more dying at 100, dying at 80. Okay, people are gonna live forever, man. Or the elect, Israel gonna live forever. Okay, we are gonna be, repopulating the earth. Okay, having multiple wives. Okay, having spiritual powers really living. Okay, and it says, "And they shall build houses and inhabit them, and shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them." That's right, because you see now we are in the curses. All right, and it speaks about that in Deuteronomy, how we shall build and not inhabit them. Okay, and not inhabit. Okay, you see that now. Northern Kingdom building up these skyscrapers, Northern Kingdom building up these houses, but not really inhabiting to them, living in them. You got Northern Kingdom really, in the field, picking up crops, but not really eating them. Okay, but in the kingdom, that's not going to be the case. These other nations are going to be building up our houses and be, retrieving our crops, and we're going to be really enjoying those things, man. Also in the kingdom, these heathens is gonna give us the best of the best. Okay, our gates will be open continually because these heathens gonna want to just please us, right? Because right now, what are we doing? Pleasing the heathen, pleasing Esau, Edom, working for them, okay? But those roles are going to be switched real soon, okay? Jumping on, this is John 14 and verse 2, and it says, "In my Father's house are many mansions, and if it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you." That's right, man. Understanding that in the kingdom, that hey, Lord got many plans for us, man. Okay, yes, we're gonna have the planet Earth as well, but there's gonna be other planets as well. Okay, because we're gonna really repopulate the whole Earth. Okay, we are going to have a lot of kids in the kingdom. Really, really, really understand that principle, man. Have it locked in your minds of the good things that are coming. Understand why you in the want to understand what you're fighting for, to be saved and to enjoy the kingdom. All right, all these things that are promised to us, man. Okay, everlasting life, salvation. Okay, understand that these are things that the Lord has. That these are things that the Lord is going to promise to us. We just got to keep doing what we've been doing. All right, keep prophesying, keep fighting, keep enduring to the end. All right. This is First Corinthians 2 and verse 9. It says, "But as it is written, eye has not seen nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of men things that the Most High prepared for them that love Him." Right, man. All right. We can speculate in our minds what the Lord is going to have for us, but the Lord's going to oversee our imagination, man. Okay. We can have we can think that we know what the Lord's going to give to us, but only the Lord knows what He has prepared for His men. All right. Only the Lord knows. All right. But I just want to go into that topic of the kingdom, understanding what the Lord has really promised for those that, really endure to the end. They really succeed from this devil. Okay. So, man, Lord, let's edify, with that, I do want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, great Muslim that taught us the truth. Peace and blessings to the Sir Akim. With that, I do want to say, Shalom.